I want to read out the old King James Version. I love it because it's so poetical. I said last night to some people, vision always creates fellowship. This is the visionary conference. It's not about Jesse's vision, even though it's a part of it. It's about each and every one of you, called and sent by God to do something. And it creates fellowship, and vision must always be continuous and never interrupted. Never. Never interrupted. I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about fellowshipping with your vision. I've seen so many people get burned out, ministers. Why? Because they don't fellowship with the vision. They fellowship with the trouble they see. All the things that are happening. And I've learned something, and God has always been good and gracious. Everything God's ever asked me to do was unbelievable, impossible, but doable. And I realized, and I said that statement a while ago, he said, Jesse, give me a job. Give me something to do. God was looking for a man he named Abram, and then changed it to Abraham, a father of many nations. God has a sense of humor. He says you're going to have children at 100 years old and your wife going to be 90, which makes no sense. Think about that. But to God, his word is creative. And Abraham was such a unique man. He was a heathen. They got some unique heathens in life. But God saw something in him that we would command or teach his children. What a wonderful thing. What a wonderful word the Lord gave Rick on it. My God, man. That's an honorable thing. He knew Abraham would obey him. That doesn't mean he wouldn't make mistakes. He lied about his wife, and Pharaoh tried to take her. So he did some things wrong. Sarah told him to go to bed with his maid, and he said, I'm going to do this for you, Sarah. Which he shouldn't have done, which caused the Arab-Israeli problem we got today. All that fighting going on. But he was a man who loved God. There's some comparison, and I don't compare myself with Abraham because I'm not worthy to let your shoelaces. But God always kind of spoke to him a lot at night. God always seems to wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why 3 o'clock. And said, get up, I want to talk to you. Several years ago, he said, get up, I want to talk to you. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, walk outside. I said, God, it's dark outside. He said, I know it is. Just walk outside. So I walked outside. He said, look up. So I'm just looking up like a complete idiot in my pajamas, shorty pajamas, ugly pajamas. Kathy's cursed them things for years. She bought me 2 new pair the other day. I ain't wore them yet. I like them old kinds. They ain't got no elastic on it, so you got to hold it. Sure don't turn it loose, because revelation will come if you turn it loose. And I see some of y'all got some of them same kind of pajamas. And he looked at me, and I'm looking like I see the lights here. And he said, Jesse, no one owns space. I was talking to Marcus Lambo about that last night. He said, it's whoever gets up here first. I said, oh, God. He did the same thing to Abraham. I want you to get out your tent. Write this down before I start reading. Closed eyes never see what God sees. Now, that's in Genesis chapter 15, but I want to read Genesis chapter 13. For God to complete your vision and for you to understand your fellowshipping with your vision, certain things have got to happen. In Genesis chapter 13, verse 11, there was a guy named Lot. Abraham liked Lot, but see, God didn't tell him to take Lot. Sometimes Abraham makes a mistake. He likes Lot. Sometimes you like somebody, but God didn't want you to take them with you in your ministry or your destiny or destination. Because they may love you, but they don't have the same revelation you have. So in verse 11 of Genesis 13, then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Verse 12, and Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain. And notice this, he pitched his tent towards Sodom. Next time you hear about Lot, he's in the middle of Sodom. You never pitch your tent towards sin. Because if you do, you're now fellowshipping with a vision of sin. And it will come over you. And you got to understand something. Lot and Abraham didn't have a problem, but the herdsman did. You got to understand something about marriage. Not only do you marry the spouse, but you marry the family. And you got to understand that. That's not an easy thing. So there was strife. One of the greatest things in the world that shuts down vision is strife. God does not tell you what to do when strife is around. He hates it. And he says this, watch this, verse 13, but the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. Notice this, before the Lord, they didn't care how much they sinned before God. Don't that sound like today? They don't care. They'll kill babies and smile as they sign it into law. They got people so confused, they don't even know what sex they are. Let me help you. If you don't know what sex you are, check your equipment. It'll tell you what you are. Now, this is my church. I can say what I want. It's going to tell you what you are. But I don't feel like. It don't make no difference what you feel like. It don't make no difference. I mean, I want to be tall. You ought to see how big I am inside. What you laughing at? I'd like to be tall once in my life. And I talked to several tall people. They said, oh, no, you wouldn't. Give it a shot. I got a good friend of mine. Marty, are you here tonight? Yes. Marty, way in the back. Marty just got married. Give him a hand. Him and Lisa, they just wonderful. Blessings. And, you know, I read that card. It touched my heart when you said you're my brother. And Marty said, Jesse, I like your hair. I said, I'll give you my hair. Let me have your height. I don't care about this hair, but I sure would take that height. Now watch this. Vision can't be spoken where there's strife. Notice this, verse 13. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Abram, watch this, after that Lot was separated from him. He don't talk with strife. After. Lift up now thine eyes. God don't expect anybody in this building looking down. Lift up your eyes. Remember this. Closed eyes never see what God sees. And look from the place where thou art, northward, southward, eastward, westward. The planet is yours. Psalms 115, verse 16, the heaven, even the heavens of the Lord, but the earth hath he given to the children of men. For all, not some, for all the land which thou seest, verse 15, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Now that's great to get a prophecy, but faith without works is dead. Now God's got another command, not a suggestion. Arise, walk through the land, in the length of it, in the breadth of it. Some people say, but you know how far that is? It ain't no difference. You have to do what God says. The length and breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Now I love verse 18. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre. I'm going to deal with that on Friday night. I hope you're still here. Which is in Hebron. What is Mamre? The oaks of Mamre. He liked trees. It's translated vision. You're going to live in a vision all your life. You're going to fellowship with a vision. Because at the oak of Mamre is the church. It's the church in a vision before they physically see it. He said, then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Now I want to deal with this. He's coming out of strife. He likes Lot, but there's problems. But God don't talk in strife. Write this down. Vision needs frequent encouragement. Encouragement is the oxygen of the soul. Breathe. If you're going to breathe, breathe encouragement. Vision needs frequent encouragement. It draws breath from its atmosphere. See, vision draws breath from its atmosphere. Jody says to me all the time, Dad, how come everything you touch prospers? I said, that's very simple, Jody. Not because I got more faith than anybody else. No, what happens is I create my world, and then I walk in it, Denise. I don't wait for the world to be created around me. I'm in the world, but I'm not of it. Since I'm not of it, I create mine.
This media is copyrighted by Jesse Duplantis Ministries for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this media or of any pictures or accounts without Jesse Duplantis Ministries' consent is strictly prohibited.